softest of voices, I condemn you. It's a mixed message.
We are protecting their privacy.
But even as far as how many Canadians and stuff, like, how does that relate to a privacy issue?
So there are 4 Canadians that have been executed, and therefore we strongly condemn what happened. And of course our hearts and minds are with the families.
Were they dual citizens? Were they Canadian citizens only? Can you tell us anything about their charges?
They were all dual citizens, and all of them, and that's the only information that I will give you.
Aaron right here, Canadian loony. So Melanie Joly, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Extramarital Affairs, Blow Affairs, whatever she is. She never seems to get it right. Tonight she's going to put the cart before the horse and then say that she can't talk about something and then does a lot of talking about the thing that she said she couldn't talk about. It's very confusing. This Liberal government is a challenge. I can't wait for an election. That's it.
Okay, so I'm happy to see all of you. We had a good meeting. Of course, we talked about continuing to lifting tariffs that are unjustifiably imposed by the U.S. on us, and we're also working on preventing future tariffs. And of course, we'll continue to fight back. So I'm willing to answer your questions. Wait just a second. Ashley, I know you're impatient. Je vais juste parler en français. Donc,
executions in China. What information can you share about the execution of Canadians in China, as well as, I know if you can't share specific numbers, but broadly, how many Canadians are we talking about?
So we strongly condemn the execution that did happen against Canadians in China. This is an issue that I've been following very, very closely personally for months, and I've asked personally also leniency, and also the former Prime Minister did so, and we made sure to press on China how much we needed to make sure that ultimately these Canadians would be safe. Therefore, we've been in contact with their families. I was even in contact last week with the team in China and in Ottawa that was supporting the families through these difficult moments. And we will continue to engage with China as we'll continue to not only strongly condemn, but also ask for leniency for other Canadians that are facing similar situations.
Why won't the government say?
How many Canadians?
So I can't go into.
It's so wild to watch, guys. These woke folk just are so self-unaware. She says she can't comment, can't give details. Then she does a whole bunch of commenting, giving details. It's whacked.
To the details.
Why not?
Why? Because the families have asked us not to give any details, and they want us to make sure ultimately that we are protecting their privacy.
But even as far as how many Canadians and stuff, like, how does that relate to a privacy issue?
Did she not just say she couldn't talk about it? Either you can talk about it or you can't talk about it. For somebody that can't talk about it, she's talking about it a lot.
So there are 4 Canadians that have been executed, and therefore we strongly condemn what happened. And of course our hearts and minds are with the families.
Were they dual citizens? Were they Canadian citizens only? Can you tell us anything about their charges?
They were all dual citizens, and all of them, and that's the only information that I will give you.
Can you talk about? But that is all I can say about that. Nothing more. She doesn't stop.
What they were accused of, or even the nature of what they were accused of?
They were all facing charges linked to criminal activities, according to China, linked to drugs.
On Ukraine, with the U.S.
All right, gang, this is the last time that she'll be doing it. She's only going to talk about it one more time. That thing that she's been talking about the last 5 minutes that she couldn't comment or give details on, talking about for 5 minutes, she's going to wrap it up right here. That's it.
By the U.S.
Was there a timeline? When did you learn of this, and when were they executed?
So what I can tell you, though, is that we've been in contact through our team in China of diplomats and also in Ottawa as we were supporting the families.
Donald Trump has said that he would rather deal with a Liberal government instead of a Conservative government, and Mr. Poilievre said that shows that Canadians should pick him as the best option to take on Trump in this period of trade tensions. What do you make of his argument?
I think that, what Canadians want is an adult in the room to be able to take decisions when it comes to...
You guys know Tyrone, my man. Here he is.
My name is Tyrone Biggins. Sometimes the endless pursuit of crack leaves me tired and depleted.
Well, Melanie Joly, for the rest of this, is having very many Tyrone Biggins moments. She's got it bad, guys. It's not a joke.
the Trump administration and dealing with the Trump administration. And that adult in the room is Prime Minister Mark Carney, supported, of course, by his team.
From Canada's perspective, is there any evidence that those that were executed were actually guilty of any drug-related offenses?
So my point is we deal with consular issues around the world. And around the world, every day, Canadians are in tough situations, and we support them, maybe in Africa, in Asia, in Latin America. And every time they're facing death penalty, we ask for leniency. This is the approach we take on every single case, every single time. And because for me, the lives and safety of Canadians is so key, I got involved personally to try to prevent these executions. It's happened in the past, and Canada is not targeted. There are many other countries that are of dual nationals that are also involved, but we strongly condemn what China did because, unfortunately, we think that this is not the way to go, and this is not what we believe in.
On the meeting today, I'm just curious whether it felt or had the vibe of a meeting, of a last meeting before the dissolution of Parliament.
I think you're trying to put words in my mouth right now, and I won't answer that question. Okay.
You said this has happened before.
Do you have any other subjects? I think I've answered the question. Yes.
A little bit more though about how those conversations are going with your counterparts for leniency. I mean, is there a chance that it's going to work? Like, what is your sense on that, or should Canadians expect
when it comes to leniency, usually what we do is we have many different people within our system, maybe the Prime Minister, maybe the President of the House of Commons, sometimes even the Chief Justice. You know, we get involved because this is a matter of state. This is not a matter only of a political party or the government. And so that happens in many, many, many cases. And that's what we've been doing. Being the Foreign Minister for 4 years now, I've done that many times with many of the different people involved.
Do you know how you can tell the children in Ukraine are in huge amounts of trouble? Melanie Joly totally supports them. That can't be good.
Sorry, can you?
Sorry, yeah, on the U.S. deleting the database of missing children in Ukraine, I'm wondering what that does for Canada, what that means for Canada.
So this is news to me. I was not informed of that, but what I can tell you though is, first and foremost, when it comes to missing Ukrainian children, this is an initiative that is core to Canada's diplomacy, that is also very close to my heart, that I've been working a lot with Ukrainians themselves. And as part of the ceasefire discussions, it's been clear that the return of Ukrainian children and also deported civilians and prisoners of war was on the table. This was a condition on the part of the Ukrainians, and this was a condition that was accepted also by the U.S.
Squiggle and squirm as you might, it is really hard to put lipstick on a pig.
Sorry. Thank you. That's all the time we had for this morning. Merci, c'est tout le temps que nous avions pour la conférence de presse ce matin.
All of us go to Florida. We don't.
Let's go to Florida, baby! In Canadian federal politics, the Canucks are represented by two separate yet unequal groups. The globalists who sold out and the opposition trying to salvage a country. These are their stories.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.